Mrs. Talkington here. This week in my class we're reading the story What the Ladybird Heard. It's about two baddies who come to a farm to steal a cow. And today I'm going to show you how to draw those two baddies. They're called Lanky and Hefty Hugh. Now I'm going to start with Hefty Hugh. So I'm going to have two of them sneaking along in the dark. So he's got a big smile shaped face and then a line across the top. So I'm going to start with his face. I'm going to do a big U shape and then I'm going to go straight across for the bottom of his woolly hat. Then I'm going to go up for his woolly hat and across and join the line down. Then I draw the pom-pom in the middle. Then I draw two lines to join it together. There we go. Here's our start. And in the middle of his face he's got a nose. He's got a funny shaped nose, almost like a flower. So we'll do a sad face to start off with. Then we'll do one little petal, two petals and a bigger petal in the middle. And underneath his nose he's got moustache, so just some lines. There it is. And a funny little smile on the side. Now let's go back up and do his eyes, shall we? His eyes are like lemon pips. So we're going to do the top of his eye and the bottom of his eye. And he's got some funny bags under it, probably where he hasn't had lots of sleep. He's got a little line that goes underneath. And his eyes are in the corner. The dark bits are in the corner. So we'll do a circle and we'll get smaller and leave the white bit. And the other one is right over the other side of his face. So you think it's going to be in the middle, but it's right over on the side of his head. So we're going to draw another lemon pip shape. Draw the sleepy bit. And then the black bit, instead of being in the middle, goes on this side. So draw your black circle. Keep getting smaller until you've got a bit left over. There he is. Now his hat's woolly hat. So let's draw the ribbon on it. There it is. So that's his face. Oh, no it's not. Let's do his ear. He's got one ear sticking out of his hat. Should put the ear on the other side. There it is. There he is. Cheeky little chap. Now he's got a stripy robber's top on. So we're going to draw one arm going out one side and one out the other. So this one curves up. So I'm going to draw a curve going up. Then his wrist. And then a curve underneath and stop. The other one curves down. So draw it curving down. Across for his wrist. And back up to his body. Now his top flares out. It's like a triangle shape, but curves out. So we're going to draw one on one side, one on the other side, and then a curve to join them together. There we go. Now he's got hoops on his top. It's like a hoopy, stripy top. So we're going to draw the lines on his top until it gets to the shoulder. And the same on the other side. Follow the curves from the wrist. And one more when it gets to his shoulder, and then his top goes the other way. So we'll follow that curve at the bottom and draw them the same distance apart. All the way across his chest. Keep going till we get to his neck. There's probably room for one more under his neck. There we are. Now let's do his hands. Now his thumb's up and then his fingers are underneath. So we've got one thumb and then four fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the other side his thumb's going down this way, so his thumb's this side and he's got his hand 1, 2, 3, 4. Now he's got some funny legs because he's tiptoeing in the dark, so one leg is bending this way and we'll go across for his ankle, follow the line straight up and then we'll do quite a wide line across. He's got some funny legs right across his body, and then we'll go down to make this pair of trousers, across and then join it together. And he's on his tiptoes, so this foot bends down, bend down at the front, tiptoes going down to touch the floor and his heel off the floor. Let's put his laces on, and the other foot is in the air tiptoeing, so it's pointing out in front of him. Draw his heel going round and put his laces on. There we are. Now he's got his robber's bag. So he's got the handle of his bag and his like a tail of an animal. And then we'll have the bag dripping down because he hasn't stolen anything yet, so the bag's empty. Down by his side. A couple of lines to show it creasing. So that is Hefty Hugh. Now we're ready for his mate, Lanky Len. Now Lanky Len's much taller and thinner. So he's got a completely different shaped face. It's quite close to him because they're together in the dark. So Lanky Len has got a long U-shaped face. So we'll go down to do his face and back up. It's like a giant smile but much thinner. We're going to go across the top, but his hat comes off his head a little bit. A bit like the top of a mushroom, his hat. And then he's got a mask on, so we'll draw a line round his face and another line round his face. And in the middle of his mask are his two eye holes, and his eyes are similar to Hefty Hugh's, but they're more oval shaped. So let's draw two ovals on the mask. One here and one right over this side, just like Hefty Hugh. And we're going to do those same dark circles. So both looking at the same thing. So draw a circle, get it smaller, and then draw the same on this side until you've got a little white bit left. And now it looks like his eyes are looking that way. Now it's funny because the illustrator puts his eyebrows over the top of his mask, which wouldn't be real. And he's got a really long, thin nose. So let's go down in a bit. Tiny little bump, another bump the other side, and back up. And he's got the same funny smile on the side, up that side. And he's got a little bit of a stubble. It's like a beard's growing. He's going to do lots of dots all over his chin. It's like he's got a beard growing. There we go. One up that side. Oh, and he's got the same little ears sticking out under his mask. One that side, one that side. His are a bit smaller than his friends. Now he's got a long, thin neck that goes off to one side. So instead of going straight down, we're going to the side slightly. And then his arm's like an action arm sticking up this side. It's longer than Hefty Hugh's. Go down for his wrist and then follow it back up to his body and stop. And then his arm, just like Hefty Hugh's, bends down the other side. So let's do it. Bending down to his wrist and round to his thin body. Now his top goes out in a triangle shape. So it's a curved triangle. And then join it up. Almost looks like he's got a dress on. And then he's got the same funny legs as Hefty Hugh. So we go down to do his leg. Not as long because he's got quite long boots on. Across, up to the top. Big wide line to the other side of his body. And a bit of a curve. And bend back to his body. Now he's got some long boots on which have got rectangles at the top. So two rectangles. Top of each boot. And then he's got long boots. So let's do his legs going down. And he's got a heel on his boot. And then tiptoe onto the floor. Because he's tiptoeing in the dark. And the same for the other side. So nice long boots going down. Down a bit further on this side because he's got a heel. Up again. And then join them together to make the front of his boots. Now we need to go back and put his hands on. So his thumb's going down. Thumb down. Fingers out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this one, it's a bit different. He's carrying a torch. So we'll draw the torch first. Fingers after. So be really careful with this one. So we'll draw 2 lines for his wrist. Just tiny. Then we're going to go up for his torch. And round. And we're going to stop because his fingers come over the top. So we're going to draw 4 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can draw the rest of the torch because he's holding on to it. Go out in a triangle shape. There we go. I'm just drawing mine just a little bit behind Hefty Hugh. Okay. Right. Now, what else have we forgotten? Oh, Lanky Len, his jumper's woolly. So I'm just going to do a couple of little knitted lines on here. I'm going to do gentle lines. I'm not going to press too hard. So it looks like his jumper's been knitted. There. in the real illustrations, the illustrator uses photographs of knitted things to make it look real. And the green hat is knitted as well in the story. There we go. And let's go back and put a couple of lines on here because this is knitted as well, just to make it look like it's slightly curvy round his head. And I think there we have it. Hefty Hugh and Lanky Len, tiptoeing in the dark, trying to steal the fine prize cow. Okay, now I'm going to colour it in and speed up the video like I usually do. So I'll stop talking while I colour it in so you can watch, so you can see what colours to do, and then you can join in afterwards.